My dear students, so in this session we will start with the next kingdom, that is kingdom Plantae. In the last previous sessions we completed the three kingdoms. One is kingdom Monera, second one is kingdom Protista, third one is kingdom Fungi, and we are going to study about the kingdom Plantae and the kingdom Animalia. So in the last session we were discussing about the major groups of kingdom Fungi. The first group of kingdom fungi is Phycomycete, the second one is Ascomycete, third one is Basidiomycetes, the fourth one is Deuteromycetes. The Deuteromycetes, it is commonly known as imperfect fungi. It available, the members of this group are reproduced only by means of asexual and vegetative mode of reproduction. So in the Deuteromycetes, whatever the examples we saw in the last session, Alternaria, Coletotrichum and Trichoderma, they are all reproducing by means of asexual and vegetative reproduction. There are no sexual reproduction takes place in these groups. So, and then next, most of the family members, most of these group members, they are parasites or saprophyte. Not most of them, some of them are saprophytes or parasite, but maximum of the deuterophytes are known to be the decomposers. They are going to decay the litter, the decomposing matter, and then they are known to be decomposers. The mycelium is septate and branched. Okay, so with this we have completed the Deuteromycetes, and then before that Basidiomycetes, before that Ascomycetes and Phycomycetes. The important thing in all these four groups are, so you have to remember the examples, the characteristic feature, everything is important. I am not going to tell you, only you can read only this much so that you will get the 2 marks and all. No, it's not like that. The groups of kingdom fungi, it is important. Okay, so with this we'll move on to the next kingdom Plantae. No need of giving much introduction because it itself give a more, so we have to learn more about the kingdom Plantae because it contains a vast groups of vast classes, number of examples it has. So in this chapter, remember my dear students, in this chapter we are going to learn only few characters of kingdom Plantae. So in the next chapter itself, it contains a number of classes, examples it has. So there we'll learn all the things and all. So here we will understand only the few characteristic feature, important characteristic feature. So I would like to start the first character as all the members are eukaryotic organisms. Eukaryotic organisms with most of the plant members, most of the organisms contain chlorophyll. It means what? Presence of chlorophyll means what? They are producing their own food. They are going to prepare their own food in the form of starch with the help of sunlight. Then what about, why I am mentioning most of, not all of the plants are going to prepare their own food. Then what about those few organisms, those few plants? Some plants, here I am going to mention in the second character, some plants are known to be heterotrophic. Heterotrophic. It means they are dependent for the food to other organism. Like example is bladderwort. One example for heterotypic heterotypic organism, which comes under the kingdom Plantae. Okay, so the next is, one more is, I would like to mention one more plant here, Venus fly trap. So this is also one plant which is going to trap the animal or the insect. Insectivorous plant, we can call it as insectivorous plant. It is going to capture the insect and it is going to swallow those insects, and this is how they are going to consume their, or they are gaining their food. So that's why I didn't mention here all the plants are containing chlorophyll. It's not true. Most of the organisms, most of the plant organisms made of, or it is having chlorophyll pigment. Through this chlorophyll, it can absorb the sunlight and it can prepare the food. And then heterotrophic organisms are as follows. One more is there. The name is Cuscuta. This is the plant actually. This plant is known as a parasite. Why it is a parasite? Because it is dependent for the food to the other plant itself. So by insecting, consider this is a climber. Just imagine this is a climber, okay, having leaf and all. The Cuscuta type of plant, they grow to the side of this to this green plant. What I am shading here, consider this shaded plant is a green plant. What I have drawn here without shading, this plant is known to be a Cuscuta. What it will do, it will grow some bud-like structure, and those bud-like structure or those plant organs inserted, or it will just introduce inside the green plant. It will just enter inside the green plant like this, like this, like this, and so that it will set the nutrition product from this chlorophyll pigmented plant, and this is how it leads the life. Okay, so that's why it is known as parasite. It is not going to produce any kind of food. It is not an heterotrophic also. It is known to be a parasitic organism or parasitic plant body. You have to remember the plant name. The plant name is Cuscuta. The cell wall is true, and the cell wall is made of cellulose. Let me write in words so that you can remember that the character. It has true cell wall. It has true cell wall, and the cell wall is made of cellulose. Okay, so this is the component which is present in the cell wall of plant organisms or the plant cell. So this is the plant cell, and consider this is the wall of this cell. This wall is deposited, or it is made of cellulose type of chemical component. Okay, so we'll move on to the next concept. The next character is the life cycle. This is the fifth one, life cycle of plant completes in, it has two stages. The life cycle completes by overcoming from two stages. What are those two stages? One is diploid sporophytic and haploid gametophytic generation. So what do you mean by diploid and haploid? When the organisms are in two, if any of the plant body, if it has two set of chromosome means, for example, in Allium cepa, a scientific name for onion, it consists of 8 chromosomes, only 8. In one cell we can find 8 chromosomes. Half of this set of chromosome is known to be 4. Okay, so concentrate me. This 8 is referred to diploid set of chromosome and 4 is referred to haploid set of chromosome. Just remember this concept. When I start explaining the cell cycle and cell division, there I will tell you the exact meaning for diploid and haploid by taking number of examples. Okay, so in human being, how many chromosomes are present? In human being, 46 chromosomes are present, 46. So just divide it by 2. How much we will get? We will get 23 chromosomes. This 23 chromosomes are known to be haploid chromosome, haploid set of chromosome, or it is mentioned as N, and 46 is meant to be diploid set of chromosome. In symbolized form we can call it as 2n chromosome. N means haploid, into 2 is diploid set of chromosome. Okay, so the plant cycle, it is going to complete its life cycle by completing 2 stages. What are those two stages? One is sporophytic stage, one more is gametophytic stage. What do you mean by sporophytic stage, or what do you mean by gametophytic stage? Sporophytic stage is the stage where in the stage it is going to release the spores. Okay, for the basic concept, just understand only this much. When I start explaining all the detailed description of plants and its classes, there I'll explain you what type of spores it is releasing. We'll take one example of algae or bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms, angiosperms. There we will learn all the stages and all the generations and all. In this class you just understand sporophytic stage or sporophytic generation. So this is known to be a diploid generation, diploid or having 2 set of chromosomes generation, there where it is going to release the spores. When the spores release from the sporangium, it germinate into a new plant body. And coming to the haploid gametophytic generation, this generation will be having only half a set of chromosomes, only n number of chromosomes it will be having. What will be having? The plants. Okay, don't forget, we are learning the characteristic features of plant. So this gametophytic generation, when it germinate, it give rise to a new plant body. Okay, so this is all about the diploid sporophytic generation and haploid sporophytic generation. One alters the other in sense. So if it is going through one stage, for example, just consider if a plant is at that stage of sporophytic generation. After the sporophytic generation, it it moves to the gametophytic generation. Again it come back to the sporophyte and then gametophyte and then sporophyte. That's why we have written the name as a cycle. It is going through in the form of cyclic way, or in the form of cycle, one after the other, one alternation form. One generation alters the second generation, and then again the same generation, again the next generation, like that. It is going to complete the 2 cycle stages in the alternate generation. That's why this process is known as alternation generation. Okay, so this is all about the kingdom Plantae characteristic feature what they have given in your NCERT book in chapter number 2. Don't consider this as a whole characteristic feature, because we need to, if we want to study the characteristic feature and the classes of plant, we have to go to the chapter number 3. There they have given a detailed account on all type of plants and all. Okay, so with this we'll move on to the next kingdom, that is kingdom Animalia. What type of organisms seen in kingdom Animalia? No doubt eukaryotic organisms. And the mode of nutrition, the mode of first we'll study the mode of nutrition and then we'll move on to the mode of reproduction. So these are eukaryotic organisms. All the organisms are known to be eukaryotic. Eukaryotic means having true nucleus, true cell organelles, membrane bound organelles. And then the next character is they are not composed of cell wall. Cell wall is absent. So if they ask you to write the differentiation characters of plants and animal, you can include this character. In the plants, cell wall is present. In the animal, cell wall is absent. Then on which membrane is covered to all the cell organelles? One cell membrane will be there. That membrane itself covers the cell components and cell organelles. The true cell wall is absent in the kingdom Animalia. And then coming to the mode of nutrition, how they are going to absorb, whether they are preparing their food or not. So you know that character very well. The kingdom Animalia, the mode of nutrition is they are known to be heterotrophic organism. For the food and all, the animals, they are directly or indirectly dependent to the plants. Let me write in the sentence form: directly or indirectly dependent to plants. Okay, so some of the animals, they are going to feed on plant, they are going to eat the plants directly. They are known to be herbivorous animals. Some of the animals are there carnivorous. Those animals, they are going to eat the herbivorous animals. It means indirectly the animals is going to depend on the plant. Okay, somehow the plant proteins, the materials are going to absorbed are again the animals are going to absorb the plant materials in an indirect way. They are known to be carnivorous animals. Okay. The next is, after the mode of nutrition, coming to the next character. They are truly non-motile. Some of them are motile organisms, but most of them are non-motile organisms. The next is, they have neurosensory motor organ system. Neurosensory motor in sense, the animals like human being, they have nervous system. Not only human being, the insect like cockroach, it has nervous system, and then frog, and then leech, or any of the animals, any of the higher animal, they have a neurosensory organ. Through this, it can pass the impulsion from one place to other place, one part of the body to other part of the body, so that it can stimulate, it can respond to the stimulation, external stimulation. Through this neurosensory motor, it is going to respond to the environmental stimulation. And then they have respiratory organ. Some of them, maybe they are not having the respiratory through the gills or through the skin itself. The animals is going to respire, and the mode of, like, how they are going to absorb the food, they are, it is based on the mode of digestion. How they are going to have, how they are going to absorb the food materials and all. Based on that, we can describe the animals as holozoic. They have the canal. Through the canal, the food particles enter, and they have the organ there. It is going to mix the food, and then it is going to digest and make it into simpler components. So the mode of food particles, the mode of absorbing the food is by means of holozoic or holozoic mode of nutrition. We can call it as holozoic mode of nutrition, seen in kingdom Animalia, seen in this kingdom. The next is, after the holozoic, coming to the reproduction. The reproduction takes place by means of vegetative and sexual. Vegetative in sense, some of the animals like platyhelminthes, and then planaria, and then starfish, and then lizard, they are going to regenerate if the part. Okay, let me tell in the detailed form. You know very well, in the class, in the chapter 1, we learned about this concept. In the vegetative mode of reproduction, the fragments, if the fragments cut and get separate, and from the same cut part, the new organ regenerate. And then next is, so that is the mode of reproduction, one mode of reproduction, one mode of vegetative reproduction. And remember, one more thing I want to tell here, the cut part, whatever the fragment separated from the body, so that fragment, it is not going to germinate into a new animal body. Just remember that word, that point. And then after the vegetative mode of reproduction, after that I'm really very sorry, in this kingdom Animalia, we cannot call the vegetative mode of reproduction, we can call it as a sexual mode of reproduction. Okay, so one more reproduction takes place in the kingdom Animalia, that is sexual mode of reproduction. Sexual by means of formation of gametes by male and female organisms. The sexual mode of reproduction takes place. Here the male and female mate with one another and copulate, and it releases or it forms the embryos inside the body of female, and then after the development of that embryo it gives rise to new offsprings. So that is also seen, one special feature seen in kingdom Animalia. So what we have to learn in this kingdom Animalia, let me tell you one more thing in this kingdom Animalia. They grow to certain age. So this is the 8th character. Development, growth and development seen only up to certain age. After the age they do not grow, they do not develop. Okay, so the next is so we'll have a revision of kingdom Animalia characteristic features. The organisms are eukaryotic. They do not have any cell wall, and they are heterotrophic. Number of organisms are maximum of the animals are heterotrophic. Why don't we call instead of maximum we can refer or we can take the word as all the kingdom Animalia organisms are heterotrophic. They are going to depend directly or indirectly to the plants. They are non-motile, they have neurosensory motor. Not only I have mentioned here one organ system name, but you can include here excretory organ, respiratory organ, and then reproductive organ. Some of the animals have placenta and some of them are marsupials. So you can add by your own way, but it will be better if you write the characteristic features which is present in the NCERT book. Those characters will be corrected as a good and correct answer. Then the mode of nutrition is holozoic. The reproduction takes place by means of sexual. The male and female parent going to mate, and then after copulation they are going to produce the zygote, and then zygote develops into embryo, and then after the development of embryo it will give rise to a new offspring. So they grow to up to a certain age. Okay, so next we will move on to the next, a short description of acellular organism which is not included in the R.H. Whitaker 5 kingdom classification. Concentrate on my word. R.H. Whitaker he do not consider or he do not included some of the acellular organisms. I am mentioning here acellular organisms, and those are viruses, viroids, prions and lichens. These are the acellular organisms do not come across in his classification. So that we are going to study in a separate description, in a separate chapter, like in a separate concept. Okay, so what is the use of, sorry, I should not use that. So the next is, we will start discussing about the viruses first. Later we will move on to the viroids, prions and lichens. Okay, so you know nowadays most of the discussed concept is about the virus. So the virus, maybe you know the what is the feature, the nature of virus. The virus is not active outside the host cell. It is only going to active, it is only going to reproduce, or it is going to multiply its number only inside the host cell. They are known as, what will happen if the virus is not going to insert inside the host cell? Consider this is the host cell, here will be the virus will be there. Okay, so if this virus do not enter inside the host cell, if it do not get any of the host cell to reproduce or to multiply or to get inactive, what will happen to this virus? After certain time, after certain duration, this virus will destroy. Okay, so for only to be in a living condition, it need the host cell, or else it is going to die. And it is known as, that's why it is known as obligate parasite. Obligate parasite. So common cold, mumps, smallpoxes, chickenpox, pox, all those diseases, and AIDS. Let me write the disease name. Diseases name caused from the viruses. Okay, so flu, mumps, smallpox, and then AIDS, etc. are the diseases caused to the human beings. Not only human beings, we can call as animals. Animal viruses are different, plant viruses are different. Animal viruses are going to infect only to animals. Some of the viruses are there, they are going to infect only human being. Some viruses are there, those are going to infect only plants. Okay, so the viruses are of two types based on their infection to the host body. They can be differentiated into plant virus and animal virus. Okay, so the next is, let me write the plant viruses. If the virus, if it infect the plant, particular plant, what will happen? We know, if we are suffering from flu or common cold, what are the symptoms do we occur inside the body, or the symptoms you know, and the mumps or the smallpox and the AIDS. You might have heard about the symptoms of AIDS, but what about the plant diseases? How it is going to show its infection? So let me write the disease's name first, and then I'll write the symptoms. Tobacco mosaic disease, spindle fiber disease, and few of the diseases are caused due to the virus. Those virus, they are going to infect the particular plant. Okay, so how to identify the plant is suffering from or plant is infected by the virus? If we see that plant or the leaf of that plant, the leaf will become yellowing of leaf rolling, leaf, curling, and mosaic formation in leaf. What do you mean by mosaic formation? If consider this is a leaf, if you find a patchy form of a different color, patchy color, not patchy, it is patchy, white color patches, if it is found on the leaf, maybe the leaf or the plant is suffering from, or it is infected by a virus. So this is known as a mosaic formation in the leaves. Okay. So the next is leaf curling, means leaf get curl. Yellowing of leaf means leaf get yellow before the particular age, and leaf rolling means leaf get roll. It do not open at all. It will be in a rolling condition itself until it's complete its life cycle. Okay. So we'll have few more description of this virus. The plant virus, they include the single-stranded RNA and or plant viruses. So we are studying the few more description of plant viruses and animal virus. Animal virus or plant virus, they both have the nucleoproteins, nucleic acid and protein. Okay, the cell wall will be absent and it get inert, or it comes to the active form only when it enter inside the host cell. So in the plant virus, it is available only a single stranded RNA. Only this type of nucleic acid is present in the plant virus. And then in the animal virus, with the protein coat, maybe a single or double stranded RNA or double stranded DNAs are present. So how to how to learn this single stranded RNA or single or double stranded RNA or double stranded RNA? So it is as much as simple. So DNA means the structure of DNA will be like this. Okay, actually the mRNA always, the RNAs will be in the form of single stranded. So just take it as single stranded RNA or double stranded RNA. Okay, so just make it or write it as single stranded RNA or double stranded DNA. The DNA always in the form of double strands, and the RNAs available only in the single stranded manner. Okay, so the plant viruses, they are having the nucleic acid as RNA, and animal viruses, they are having the nucleic acid either in the form of RNA or DNA. Okay, there is not a compulsory, it is not a compulsory phenomena. Both the nucleic acid should be there in the virus. Either the RNA will be present or the DNA will be present in the animal virus. And let me tell you one interesting concept of this virus. If a plant, a plant, take the example of the plant, which plant I am taking here. Just imagine a tobacco plant. Okay, so just imagine, suppose a tobacco plant, if it get infected by the virus, okay, what will happen? The plant will get yellow, or mosaic formation occurs, formation of mosaic or patchy patches may form on the leaves of that plant. Okay, so what is my concept here? I'm going to explain you how the virus infects. So the virus is already infected to the plant. Okay, so this infected plant or this virus, it may travel or it may transfer to the healthy plant. There it can also causes diseases, it can also infect that plant. Okay, who discovered this phenomena? Earlier, one scientist, his name is Bijerinic. He isolated the infected portion, the infected fluid from the infected plant. So what I am telling you, he is going to prove the virus already infected to the plant, that virus can also transfer to the other plant, and there it can cause diseases. How he proved that? First, he took the infected plant and he collected or he isolated the virus from the particular organ, and he called that fluid, the isolated organ or the collected fluid, as, he called that as contagium vivum fluidum. Vivum fluidum. So what actually it is? So this is the contagious fluid, a fluid having number of viruses. If this virus enter inside the healthy plant or a healthy cell, there it can cause the disease. This is how the virus is going to spread from one plant to other plant. This was first discovered by Bijerinic in 1898. Alright. So contagium vivum fluidum, what you have to write if they ask in the examination? Contagium vivum fluidum, this is the infectious live virus, infectious living virus present in the infected plant. Okay, if those fluid or if those contagious living virus, if it transfer to one more plant, healthy plant, there it can cause disease. Okay, so this is all about the contagium vivum fluidum, and then plant viruses, and then animal viruses. So who discovered this virus? What is the literal name or common name? What we can call the virus? Like virus is just a infectious or a disease causing organism. It is known as the virus, known to be the name of the meaning of this word is poisonous. Poison or venom. Venom is nothing but poison. So this venom or poison fluid, this virus is discovered by this acellular organisms, discovered by one scientist known as Pasteur I.J. Ivanovsky, or Pasteur D.J. Ivanovsky. So he was the first who collected the information, or who discovered these poisonous agents, these venom agents, the venom or the poisonous fluid. The word was given by this viruses was discovered by, the name was given by Pasteur D.J. Ivanovsky. These viruses are smaller than bacteria. You know the bacteria, so many shapes of bacteria are present. Some of them are poisonous and some of them are useful bacteria, helpful bacteria are also present. The viruses are smaller than bacteria. These viruses, it is going to infect the bacteria too. When the virus infect the bacteria, those viruses are known to be bacteriophages or bacteriophages. The bacteriophages are the virus or the particular group of virus which is going to infect only to bacteria, not the other organisms. So in this session, what we understood about the virus. Who discovered this? What do you mean by contagium, vivum, fluidum? And then we learned about the some characteristic feature of virus and disease or infection caused by the plant virus and by the animal virus. Now, we use the word proteins while describing the virus. We use the word nucleoprotein. So, where will be the proteins? How they arranged with one another? How the virus looks? Have you ever observed any kind of virus nowadays in maximum of the media or in all the medias they are showing the coronavirus, right? So the coronavirus, how it looks? It is a spherical structure or spherical virus. It is spherical shaped structure it is, and it is having some radiations outside the cell in the form of crown. That's why it named as coronavirus. What about the bacteriophages? What about the tobacco mosaic virus? How it looks? In your book, in your NCERT book, they have given two viruses diagram. So if they have given means, they'll ask you to examine it. They'll ask you to draw the diagram of viruses. One is plant virus, one more is bacteriophage, bacteria infecting virus. Okay, so in the next session, I'll draw that diagram of the viruses, plant virus and bacterial virus. With that, we will learn the other acellular organisms like viroids, prions and lichens. Okay, so thank you.